living here. They were let freely into our country. All of these illegal aliens. I had gone to that border in September. Nothing humane was happening.
February 8th, 2024, 4:47 a.m., a residential street in Hyattsville, Maryland. 32 FBI agents converge on a two-story brick colonial. Battering ram meets front door. Splinters. The occupant, a 34-year-old man with MS-13 tattoos covering both arms, is face down on hardwood within 90 seconds. His phone sits on the kitchen counter, unlocked. Open to an encrypted messaging app. Messages scroll back 18 months. Coordination of drug shipments, murder contracts, extortion schedules, names, addresses, bank account numbers. This isn't just one arrest, it's the beginning of the largest coordinated takedown of MS-13 operations in American history. The scale becomes clear. Within 6 hours, the operation spans 13 states and 74 cities simultaneously. Federal agents execute 127 search warrants. They arrest 267 suspected MS-13 members and associates in a single morning. The coordination is unprecedented. Baltimore field offices work in lockstep with units in Los Angeles, Houston, Boston, and New York. State police provide perimeter support. Local SWAT teams breach fortified locations. Immigration and Customs Enforcement stands ready for deportation proceedings. The arrests represent 3 years of infiltration, 3 years of wiretaps, 3 years of informant cultivation, 3 years of building the kind of case that doesn't just catch criminals, it dismantles entire organizational structures. FBI Deputy Director Paul Abat speaks at the afternoon press conference in Washington. His statement is precise, clinical. Today's operation represents the culmination of extensive investigative work targeting the most violent transnational criminal organization operating within our borders. MS-13, or Mara Salvatrucha, has terrorized communities from coast to coast. Today we have significantly degraded their operational capacity. The numbers tell a more complete story. Agents seize $4.2 million in cash, 47 kilograms of methamphetamine, 31 kilograms of cocaine, 17 kilograms of fentanyl, 189 firearms, including 12 fully automatic weapons, 14 vehicles used in criminal operations, documentation of extortion schemes targeting 341 separate businesses, evidence of 43 unsolved murders. But the real prize sits in digital format: encrypted phones, laptops, tablets, hard drives containing communications that map the entire MS-13 network across the United States, names of leaders, supply chain logistics, financial flows, relationships with Mexican cartel suppliers, protection schemes within immigrant communities. Everything. The gang that became an enterprise, MS-13, originated in Los Angeles during the 1980s. Salvadoran immigrants formed the gang for protection in neighborhoods dominated by Mexican-American gangs. The organization evolved, metastasized, spread across the country as members migrated or were deported and returned. By 2024, MS-13 claims an estimated 10,000 members in the United States alone, with tens of thousands more operating throughout Central America. The gang operates through cliques, semi-autonomous cells controlling specific territories. Each clique reports up through regional leadership. Regional leaders coordinate with international leadership primarily based in El Salvador. The structure provides resilience. To take down one clique, others continue operating. The decentralization makes comprehensive enforcement nearly impossible, until investigators found the network vulnerability. The encrypted messaging apps MS-13 leadership believed were secure weren't. Not after the FBI developed relationships with tech companies following the 2020 crackdown on encrypted platforms used by criminal organizations. Court-authorized intercepts captured communications in real time starting in January 2021. Federal prosecutors built conspiracy cases that linked street-level enforcers directly to organizational leadership. RICO statutes allowed charging entire criminal enterprises rather than individual offenses. The evidence showed systematic operations. MS-13 cliques in Long Island coordinated with cells in Maryland to transport cocaine from Houston distribution points supplied by Mexican cartels. Gang members in Los Angeles collected extortion payments from over 200 businesses, funneling proceeds to leadership in El Salvador through cryptocurrency exchanges and money service businesses. Virginia cliques recruited middle school students, documented through text messages showing gang members promising protection and belonging to vulnerable teenagers. Murder served as enforcement. The investigation linked MS-13 members to 43 homicides across 6 states, machete attacks, execution-style shootings, bodies dumped in parks as warnings. Witnesses intimidated into silence through threats against their families in El Salvador. The violence was systematic, calculated, essential to maintaining control. The operation unfolds. The pre-dawn raids on February 8th were simultaneous by design. MS-13's communication networks meant warning one cell could alert others within minutes. Coordination required months of planning. FBI field offices conducted dry runs. Local police departments received briefings 48 hours before execution. Immigration officials prepared detention facilities. Federal prosecutors stood by with sealed indictments ready for immediate filing. In Wheaton, Maryland, agents arrested Carlos Enrique Martinez Ramirez, a 29-year-old alleged leader of the Sailors Locos Salvatruchas West Side clique. His apartment contained $87,000 in cash, and detailed ledgers of extortion payments and communications linking him to 3 murders. His phone held videos of gang initiations showing beatings of prospective members. In Brentwood, New York, a coordinated sweep netted 19 suspected gang members from multiple cliques operating on Long Island. Evidence seized included documents showing the gang collected over $50,000 monthly from local businesses through protection rackets. Business owners, primarily immigrants from Central America, paid between $200 and $2,000 weekly to avoid vandalism, assault, or worse. In Los Angeles, the operation targeted leadership figures coordinating West Coast distribution networks. Federal agents arrested Miguel Angel Correa Diaz, identified as a shot caller for multiple cliques. His role involved mediating disputes between cells, approving major criminal operations, and maintaining communication with leadership in El Salvador. The evidence against him included participation in conspiracy to distribute over 100 kilograms of cocaine and coordination of 4 murders spanning 3 states. Houston operations focused on supply chain disruption. MS-13 members there served as critical middlemen between Mexican cartel suppliers and gang distribution networks across the eastern United States. Arrests disrupted established trafficking routes. Seizures of narcotics and currency at Houston locations cut off gang financing, while simultaneously providing evidence of the scope of operations. By the end of the first week, federal authorities had arrested 267 individuals across 13 states. Another 143 were arrested by the end of February as investigators processed seized evidence and identified additional targets. Immigration violations led to immediate deportation proceedings for 189 individuals, most of whom faced criminal charges in their home countries. The legal machinery activates federal prosecutors filed charges under the Racketeer Influenced and Corrupt Organizations Act. RICO allows prosecution of individuals for crimes they ordered others to commit or for participating in criminal enterprises even without direct involvement in specific offenses. The statute, originally designed to combat the mafia, proves equally effective against gang structures. Indictments charge defendants with conspiracy to participate in racketeering activities. The underlying predicate acts included murder, attempted murder, conspiracy to commit murder, drug trafficking conspiracy, firearms violations, extortion, money laundering, and obstruction of justice. Each RICO count carries a maximum sentence of 20 years. Murder charges bring life sentences. Firearms violations add mandatory minimum sentences. The evidence was overwhelming. Recorded communications, financial records, physical evidence from crime scenes, cooperating witnesses including former gang members who accepted plea deals, testimony from victims of extortion, digital forensics linking defendants to specific criminal acts through metadata and location data. Defense attorneys faced impossible odds. The evidence wasn't circumstantial, it was direct documentation of criminal planning and execution. Plea negotiations began immediately. Prosecutors offered reduced sentences in exchange for cooperation, creating cascading incentives for lower-level members to testify against leadership. By June 2024, 189 defendants had accepted plea agreements. Sentences ranged from 5 years for peripheral involvement to life imprisonment for leadership figures directly connected to murders. Carlos Enrique Martinez Ramirez pleaded guilty to RICO conspiracy and 3 counts of murder. He received 3 consecutive life sentences plus 20 years. Miguel Angel Correa Diaz went to trial. A jury convicted him on all counts after deliberating for 4 hours. He received life imprisonment without possibility of parole. The aftermath reveals deeper truths. The operation decimated MS-13's operational capacity. The federal law enforcement officials estimated the arrests removed approximately 30% of the gang's effective leadership within the United States. Extortion networks collapsed. Drug distribution routes were disrupted. Inter-clique coordination fractured. Business owners in affected communities reported immediate relief. Maria Gonzalez, who operates a small grocery store in Hyattsville, told investigators she had paid MS-13 $300 weekly for 6 years. "I thought it would never end. she stated in a victim impact statement. Every week they came. Every week I paid. I couldn't go to police because they threatened my family in El Salvador. Now for the first time in 6 years, I keep what I earn. Similar testimonies emerged from across the country. Restaurant owners, construction contractors, food truck operators. Small business owners trapped between financial ruin and violent retaliation. The extortion networks generated millions annually, but the true cost measured in fear, economic stagnation, and community degradation. The operation also revealed the gang's infiltration of legitimate institutions. The investigation uncovered MS-13 members working in schools, providing recruitment access to vulnerable students. Gang affiliates employed at money transfer businesses facilitated international financial flows. Associates in local government positions provided advance warning of law enforcement activities. Immigration patterns complicated enforcement. Many MS-13 members entered the United States as unaccompanied minors fleeing gang violence in Central America. Once here, they were recruited by the same organizations they fled. The cycle perpetuated itself. Deportation sent gang members back to El Salvador, where they strengthened international networks before attempting re-entry. Federal authorities identified 47 individuals arrested in the February operation who had been previously deported for gang-related offenses. The numbers cannot capture everything. Statistics frame the operation's scope but miss its human dimensions. 43 murder victims, families destroyed, communities traumatized, children recruited into violence, business owners impoverished by systematic extortion. The criminal enterprise touched thousands of lives across years of operation. The investigation documented specific cases. A 16-year-old boy beaten to death in a Long Island park after attempting to leave MS-13. A young woman murdered because her brother witnessed a gang shooting. A father of 3 shot in front of his children for refusing to pay protection money. Each murder carried out according to gang protocol, each designed to reinforce control through terror. Victim impact statements filled court records. Parents described attending their children's funerals. Spouses explained raising families alone after gang murders. Business owners recounted years of financial hardship while paying extortion. The statements revealed the true scope of MS-13's impact. Not merely criminal offenses, but systematic destruction of community stability and individual dignity. The operation continues. February's arrests represented a beginning, not an end. Federal task forces continue investigating MS-13 operations. When additional indictments emerge monthly as investigators process evidence seized during the initial operation, intelligence gathered leads to operations in Central America, where cooperation with foreign law enforcement targets international leadership. The gang adapts. Lower-level members assume leadership roles. New recruitment efforts target the same vulnerable populations. Communication networks shift to more secure platforms. The organizational structure provides resilience against enforcement pressure, but the operational environment has changed. The February operation demonstrated law enforcement's capacity for coordinated large-scale enforcement against transnational gangs. MS-13, leadership knows their communications are vulnerable. Business owners know federal protection exists. Community members increasingly cooperate with investigations. The calculus of fear shifted. FBI Director Christopher Wray addressed these realities in congressional testimony. We have significantly disrupted MS-13's operations within the United States. However, this gang has demonstrated remarkable resilience over decades. Our work continues. We will maintain pressure on this organization until it no longer poses a threat to American communities. The warning stands. MS-13's continued existence represents a failure of international criminal justice cooperation, immigration enforcement, and community intervention programs. The gang thrives in gaps between systems. Immigration policies that separate families create vulnerable populations. Underfunded community programs leave at-risk youth without alternatives. Corruption in Central American institutions provides safe havens for gang leadership. Deportation without coordinated enforcement merely relocates the problem. The February 2024 operation proved comprehensive enforcement is possible. It required years of investigation, unprecedented coordination between agencies, and commitment of substantial resources. It succeeded. But success in one operation doesn't eliminate the underlying conditions that allow gangs like MS-13 to flourish. The arrests removed hundreds of violent criminals from American streets. The prosecutions delivered justice for victims and their families. The disruption of gang operations provided relief to terrorized communities. These achievements matter. They represent law enforcement functioning as designed, identifying threats, building cases, executing operations, and holding offenders accountable. Yet the victory remains incomplete. MS-13 continues operating. New members join. Violence persists. The gang's presence in Central America ensures continued efforts to operate in the United States. The challenge isn't merely arresting gang members, it's addressing the conditions that create them. The question isn't whether law enforcement can disrupt MS-13. February proved they can. The question is whether American society will commit resources necessary for sustained pressure while simultaneously addressing root causes. That answer remains uncertain. The evidence seized in February continues generating prosecutions. The investigation expands. More arrests will follow. But until the pipeline of recruitment stops, until corruption in Central America ends, or until vulnerable immigrant communities receive adequate protection and support, gangs like MS-13 will persist. The operation succeeded brilliantly. The war continues indefinitely. That's the reality. February 8th, 2024 made unavoidably clear.